All right, this is Breakfast. It's great to have you with us on a Friday. Now, just as a slight warning, if you don't want to talk about sex with robots or listen to other people talk about sex with robots, now might be a time to make a cup of tea. Because if you don't want to talk about people talking about sex with robots or listen to people talking about sex with robots, probably you are a tea drinker. A study into the future of the sex industry predicts that by 2050, we will potentially be going to whatever the equivalent of a brothel is in 2050 and having sex with robots. Sex workers could actually, like skin and bone people, could actually, in the sex industry, be a thing of the past. Joining us now is a skin and bone person in the sex industry, sex worker Elena Jeffries. Elena,
hello,
good to have you with
nice
us.
To meet you.
And Michelle Mars is a sexologist, and you were one of the two people co-author of the study.
Yeah, that's right.
Why would you do? Who's interested in this?
I think, you know, we're becoming more and more integrated with technology, and people are becoming more and more interested in, you know, robots and what they can do. You know, robot skin that's like human skin is going to be available in within a couple of years' time, and I just think people are very interested in it.
How do you know that?
Oh, yes, I know it because
skin on robots.
Yep, like robot skin.
So what's going through your mind when you're thinking all of a sudden, oh, I'll do a study on the sex industry in 2050?
Well, you know, like we did it on Amsterdam, and Amsterdam is somewhere that's kind of famous for sex work, and we were looking at, you know, what would a luxury brothel look like in Amsterdam in 2050, and of course it would be peopled with, you know, beautiful men and women who were there to take care of your every want and desire, and were there to give you a really good time.
And then you realised that those men and women weren't really men and women at all.
Well, yeah, I think that what we consider to be a biological person and what we consider to be a robot is going to be very much blurred by 2050.
Really? I thought, Elena, that this was an awful idea. I couldn't imagine that anyone would want to do this. And then all of a sudden, in a funny sort of way, as I was thinking about it, I found it quite tantalising. Are you concerned?
Well, the sex industry has taken up technology, you know, ahead of any other industry. We've got, you know, sex workers took up condom use in the late 80s before anyone else was, you know, taking it up. And also mobile phones. You know, mobile phones were driving our business before other businesses were relying on such technology.
But can you imagine, like, your clients, for a start? I mean, are they going to... I mean, and obviously we're talking about more sophisticated robots that obviously have skin and things like that, but... the clients want more than just sex, don't they? I mean, presumably there's an emotional connection that they're after too.
Well, I think there's an element of surprise that comes with having an interaction with a sex worker. You know, you're pushing your boundaries, you're meeting someone new, you're having to have conversations, and you're there naked with another actual person who's also there naked with you. So there's... you know, there's something special about seeing a sex worker. So for a surprise with a robot, you'd have to tell it, surprise me, would you? You
probably have, like, there are already sex robots around, and you can kind of program them from being like Frigid Farah to being like Wild Wendy. That's the names that they've got for them.
Who's going to want Frigid Farah? Who? Seriously, who's going to pay good money for Frigid Farah?
People do.
Really? Do they? Well, let's not talk about those people. So they're around at the moment. You're just saying that they're going to get more sophisticated and they're going to take over.
I'm not saying they're going to take over. Because I agree with Elena. I think there'll always be
a need and a desire for that actual human connection.
There will be an option.
How much of this comes from the fact that people are spending more and more time on the internet, they're more and more familiar with technology, they're not socialising as much as they used to? Does that mean that ultimately we're going to be more willing to actually do the small amount of socialising we do with technology?
Yeah. Well,
it was a long question. Give me a long answer.
Well, it is a challenge. It is a challenge. And I think it's interesting that people, you know, we're attracted to thinking about the future. And like today, we're talking about what the sex industry could be like in 2050, robots, etc. It's challenging to talk about what the sex industry is like today. You know, we're fighting for good laws. In South Australia, we're fighting for decriminalisation. In New South Wales, we're fighting to save the good laws we've got here. Decriminalisation is the best model.
Right.
If we implemented good laws now, maybe the sex industry in 2050 would look quite different than if we were to implement bad laws.
You can't change the future like that, though, because it's very dangerous. Did you not see Back to the Future? You just can't do that. Very quickly, $12,000 a night, you reckon, with a sex robot?
Well, I think so. I mean, it would be an upmarket.
I would want to keep the sex robot for half that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to lash out, you could pay that kind of money now.
No, I know, but and afterwards you can tell me the sort of thing I would get for that kind of money. All right, Eleanor and Michelle, thank you very much for joining us. We'll just have to wait and see. You might have a view on this. You can phone the Henry hotline, 1300 66 10 10. Do you imagine that that is the future of the sex industry? Give us a call and tell me what you think.
Okay, let's go.
So, would you have sex with a robot? Check it out on our website, 10breakfast.com.au. I've just learned I've revived the art of hula hoop. don't think I did when I was about sick, but Rochi, how's the weather up there?
Oh, there's not really much about the weather. Paul, are you okay? Obviously, it's World Circus Day tomorrow. Clearly, I'm not a part of any kind of circus. Holy shit!
Oh,
Sorry. I just said it. I just said it.
Hurry up, I'm getting tired.
We're coming back after the break.